Hi, Acadiana meteorologist Dave Baker. Jumping in here real quick as we've got a tornado warning that's in effect for parts of Beauregard and Rapides parishes. This is going to be moving off toward the east. This tornado warning will expire in a little bit less than 30 minutes or so. That tornado warning will be until 9:45. 9/11 severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Cyper, about 8 miles west of Heinston, moving east at 45 miles per hour. It is radar indicated. This storm is going to be near Otis, Gardner, and Cyper around 9:15, Alexandria at around 9:30. If you're anywhere near this area, you need to take cover immediately. This also would cover Interstate 49 between mile markers 93 and 98. Again, you need to take cover now. Move into an interior room on the lowest floor of a building. Make sure you avoid windows and try to put as many walls in between you and outside. If you're in a vehicle, make sure you move to a sturdy structure to protect yourself, and you can always cover yourself with blankets and pillows, which will help protect you from flying debris. Again, we've got a tornado warning that's in effect for parts of Beauregard and Rapides parishes. This is going to be until 9:45. It's a thunderstorm that's possibly producing a tornado moving off to the east at about 45 miles per hour. So as we kind of take a look at what we've got here on the radar, we do have quite a bit of thunderstorm activity that's currently out there, and that's going to be the case over the next several hours as these thunderstorms continue to move off toward the east. With those bigger thunderstorms are continuing to slide there across portions of central Louisiana, and that tornado warning has gone up here across central Louisiana going into Rapides Parish, and it will be sliding eastward. So the city of Alexandria is in the path of this storm, as well as I-49, and this is going to be running around along LA 28, moving off to the east at about 45 miles per hour. So again, you need to take cover immediately in this particular area. Gardner, also over by some of the lakes that are out there in central Louisiana, those are some areas that we're going to be seeing the possibility of this storm moving through, and the entire line of thunderstorms has been quite heavy moving out of Texas and into Louisiana, and those thunderstorms are going to be packing quite a punch, especially over central Louisiana right now, and then eventually pushing into southwestern Louisiana as we get into the evening hours. So if you live along LA 121 or LA 1200, 496, 1243, 488, 1199, or LA 112 there in Rapides Parish, you do want to be taking cover immediately from this particular storm as it will be moving off toward the east. And as I said, the city of Alexandria would also be in the path of this particular tornado warning right just down the road. So you want to keep that in mind. Woodworth is also in this tornado warning. So if you live in Gardner, Otis, Cyper, or Woodworth, or even the western areas there of Alexandria along LA 28, you do want to take cover immediately. A tornado warning is still in effect and will be in effect until 9:45. Let's take a quick look at everything else that's going on out here as the radar loads. You can see a pretty good line of thunderstorms continuing to slide off toward the east, and that is going to be the case over the next several hours with that line of thunderstorms coming through, especially over the areas north of US Highway 190. I do believe we're going to be seeing some pretty gusty winds there, and also some heavy rain, and all this is kind of moving off toward the east at about 30 to 40 miles per hour. The tail end of these thunderstorms are going to be going across portions of Calcasieu, Beauregard, and into Jeff Davis Parish a little bit later on. But as these move to the east, places like Allen Parish and also into Evangeline Parish will need to watch out for these storms, and anything here right along US Highway 190. And then west of Alexandria, you've got LA 28 that runs westward from about Alexandria on over to around Leesville. So that's where that particular tornado warning is in effect right now. And those are the strongest storms that we're seeing right now. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning, though, that is also in effect for parts of Allen and a little chunk of Evangeline Parish as well. Pulling up some of the graphics here. There's one severe thunderstorm warning that's still in effect until 10 o'clock. That kind of overtops the tornado warning that is there. And then we've also got this severe thunderstorm warning that's in effect until 9:45 that covers parts of Jeff Davis, Evangeline, Allen, and eastern portions of Beauregard parishes. So if you live in any of the communities that you're seeing here on your screen, make sure you are aware of that storm. This could produce winds up to 60 miles per hour and nickel-sized hail. So Reeves, Kinder, Oberlin, Elton, also Oakdale, Mitty, and Grant, Sugartown, and Dry Creek and Longville are all in the path of this storm. This particular severe thunderstorm warning will be in effect until 9:45. So again, getting back over to the radar, we're looking at very heavy rains that are continuing to move on in. And this line of thunderstorms has been bowing off just a little bit more. So that could bring the possibility of some wind damage, especially as you see this kind of bowing out a little bit farther. And of course, that's where that tornado warning was issued as well. And with that, the severe weather could continue there across portions of central Louisiana. Other areas there toward the southwest are also going to be seeing the possibility of some severe weather. We've got a new tornado watch that was posted just a couple of minutes ago. This one for southwestern Rapides Parish. This tornado warning will remain in effect until 9:45. So this is going to be a little bit farther to the south. It's not popping up on this particular image yet, but the tornado warning is going to be for this cell right here, and the tornado warning covers part of that box right there. I'll see if I can find the graphic and get the actual tornado warning up for this new warning that we have. This will be until 9:45. Dangerous storm is going to be near Glenmora and Elmer around 9:25. Other locations that could be impacted are Forest Hill, Calcasieu, as well as McNary, and Interstate 49 between mile markers 62 and 67. This is a place that you want to go ahead and take cover now. This is a tornado warning. The tornado warning was radar indicated, and it is in the southern portion of Rapides Parish. So that is the place that we're looking at right now, into southern portions of Rapides Parish, and eventually this is possibly could reach northern portions of Allen and Evangeline Parish as well. So as we zoom this back out just a little bit more, we can see the thunderstorms are continuing to push off toward the east. The second tornado warning still hasn't popped up on this particular screen, but I'm going to try to get into this other graphic here as that reloads there. There's the new tornado warning. You can see that shaded there. And going to kind of jump around here and try to get this other tornado warning graphic up for you that'll show the actual areas that are under this particular tornado warning there into the southern portion of Rapides Parish. So let's look at that right now. You can see that tornado warning covers a pretty large area of southern Rapides Parish. It does not include areas of Evangeline or Allen Parish, but this is just north of the Turkey Creek area and will eventually get very close to the I-49. So getting north of Turkey Creek, you get into some of the lakes that are over there. There west of Alexandria, that's where we're going to be talking about the possibility of a tornado. You do want to take cover now as this storm is moving to the east at about 45 miles per hour, and there's also the possibility there could be some 3/4 inch hail associated with this particular system. So if you live in Glenmora or Elmer, you do want to be taking cover from this, as well as Forest Hill a little bit farther down the road, maybe in about another 10 minutes or so. But this particular thunderstorm is capable of producing a tornado. Just a few minutes ago, it was located 8 miles north of Elizabeth, which is just outside of Allen Parish, moving to the northeast at about 40 miles per hour. We still have a number of severe thunderstorm warnings that are still in effect for many of these areas as well. And as we open it back up here, you can really see how that line of thunderstorms is continued to stay quite strong. So if you live in Evangeline Parish, get ready for this particular storm to come in, because it could whip in here with some pretty decent winds, also some small hail is possible. And as we've seen, as this particular storm system wants to try to bow out just a little bit more, we are seeing the possibility of some damaging winds and maybe even the possibility of a tornado. So 2 tornado warnings that we have in effect, both of them covering parts of Rapides Parish, one over the northern portion of Rapides Parish and one over the southern portion of Rapides Parish. The latest one that was issued will be in effect until 9:45, and it covers those cities right there. And then we've also got another tornado warning that is in effect for the northern portions of Rapides Parish. This one is in effect as well until 9:45 and would include the towns of Gardner and Woodworth as well as the community of Otis. So these are all moving across portions of Allen, Evangeline into Beauregard and Rapides parishes right now. We'll get back over here to the radar to give you a good idea of what's going on. That is the National Weather Service radar. We're grabbing this one out of the Lake Charles area, and the tornado warnings are there a little bit farther toward the north. I'm going to pull up the radar here for from Fort Polk, which also would give us a pretty good look at these particular storms. Let's try to see if we can interact with this and perhaps bring up the base velocity here. Maybe we can get a little bit of a view of what's going on in these particular storms. So as we transition over here to that, we can see that there's the possibility that we've got some showers, or rather some rotation there over north central portions of Rapides Parish, moving off toward the east. That is inside one of those tornado warnings, but again, we've got a little bit more rotation back here to the south as well, and that one there is probably going to be bringing us those heavy, the very gusty winds that are out there throughout this evening and going through the next hour or so. So 9:45 is when this particular tornado warning will wind down, but there are areas of rotation that are there over extreme northern Allen Parish, and that's going to be moving into southern Rapides, and hence that's the reason why the tornado warning went up. Again, for about another 15 minutes. So if you live anywhere there in basically Rapides Parish, anything west of the I-49 corridor, you do want to take cover immediately because a tornado warning is in effect. It's actually 2 separate storms that are possibly producing a tornado. One particular storm is a little bit farther to the north, and one over south central portions of Rapides Parish. So real quick, I did want to go over the fact that we do have a severe thunderstorm watch that's still in effect until 11 o'clock for Allen and Beauregard as well as Vernon parishes, but it does appear that a lot of the severe weather is moving east of the watch box now. We still have a severe thunderstorm warning that covers a large part of Rapides Parish as well as portions of Beauregard parishes. And then we have our tornado warning that's over the southern sections of Rapides Parish until 9:45 that would cross US 165, but also would include some of the exits there in the 60s, mile markers in the 60s there along the I-49. We've also got a tornado warning over northern portions of Rapides Parish. That includes the towns of Gardner, Otis, and Woodworth, and it's right on the doorstep of Alexandria, and I wouldn't be surprised to see if this particular tornado warning gets extended, because it does still appear that there's some rotation in some of those storms that we're looking at right now. Let's get back to the big radar here, and we'll go ahead and go to the some of the rotation that we're looking at on this particular thing here. But there is some rotation that's still lingering there over parts of Rapides Parish. You can see there's 2 areas that we're looking at here, and kind of go through and circle what we're talking about here. Right around the community of Otis, we have rotation there, and then there was a little bit of rotation that was back down here as well. So with both of those storms being under tornado warnings, if you live in the western portion of Rapides Parish, anywhere west of I-49, you do want to be aware of this storm, and you do want to take cover immediately because this can be a dangerous storm. It's radar indicated, but with all of the heavy rain that we've been seeing in this particular area, there's a really good chance that the visibility is going to be too low, that you're not going to be able to see any kind of tornado system or anything moving towards you. It's going to be, once you start to hear it, by that point in time, it's going to be too late. So tornado warning in effect still for about another 10 minutes. 2 tornado warnings for Rapides Parish, both of them until 9:45. One is in effect for the northern part of the parish, and one is in effect for the southern portion of the parish, but it does appear that both of those tornado warnings cover areas west of Interstate 49. So we'll kind of watch and wait to see what happens when it comes to any other severe thunderstorm warnings. We're not seeing anything right now. As I look over here toward Allen Parish, we've got a lot of heavy rain leading in here. That's still west of 165, or probably just starting to cross the 165. Then you got a couple of smaller cells that are trying to develop back here. We'll have to wait and see if those become something a little bit more significant over the next couple of hours or so. It also appears that there's a little bit of an outflow boundary that's starting to kind of push out ahead of that. So that might get a couple of more thunderstorms going a little bit later on over into Jeff Davis and Cameron Parish. So that's another scenario we could be looking at. But if you live over Calcasieu Parish, generally along that I-10 corridor, we do got some pretty hefty thunderstorms there. No severe thunderstorm warning in effect for that particular area right now, but there is a possibility that you could see some gusty winds and some large hail to go along with that here in the next maybe 30 or 40 minutes. So let's go ahead and revisit these 2 tornado warned storms, and real quick we're going to jump it back over to the base velocity and just see what we've got going on in here real quick. It appears that there is still some rotation and at least some very, very gusty winds that are coming in this particular area. And there we go. We can get the velocity up here, and then we can see what we've got going on when it comes to any kind of rotation here. And that rotation looks like it's still there, kind of running here just to the east of the community of Otis. So this is going to be along, I believe it's LA 28 that runs kind of west out of Alexandria and then heads over to around Fort Polk. So if you live along LA 28, you do want to be aware of this storm. You are under a tornado warning right now, and it does appear that there's a little bit of rotation. And there's also a little bit of rotation back here to the southwest. So if you live southwest of Glenmora, or right anywhere along that 165 corridor, be aware of this storm and also take cover because it could be quite dangerous. We'll get back to the base reflectivity and just kind of zoom out and see the entire line of thunderstorms that we've got out there. It looks like we're still looking at a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings. In fact, let's just kind of review what we have going on right now. And let's see, first of all, we're going to talk about the severe thunderstorm watch that remains in effect until 11 o'clock, and that's for Vernon, Allen, as well as Beauregard Parish, although I would suspect that most of our severe weather has moved just a little farther to the east of that now. We still have a severe thunderstorm warning that's in effect until 10 o'clock, and that covers all of Rapides Parish, the northern portions of Evangeline, extreme northern Allen, and eastern sections of Beauregard Parish. So if you live in Turkey Creek or Cheneyville or Lacombe, even though you are not under a tornado warning, you're still under a severe thunderstorm warning. So that still can be quite dangerous, with winds gusting up to 70 miles per hour and some small hail is possible there. There's your tornado warning that's still in effect for yet another 10 minutes or so for the southern part of Rapides Parish. That includes the communities of Glenmora and Forest Hill there along US Highway 165. If you live in that area, please take cover immediately. And then for the northern portions of Rapides Parish along LA 28 west of Alexandria, including the communities of Woodworth, Gardner, and Otis, you are also under a tornado warning until 9:45. So just a few more minutes to go before this tornado warning expires, or we'll have to watch to see if maybe it gets extended. So there's a real quick look at the big picture. You can see where the cities are. Here in Lafayette, really not seeing a whole lot going on right now, but we'll watch that line as it continues to move to the east. Right now, it does appear that the strongest part of this line of thunderstorms may stay there over Allen and Evangeline and into going into Rapides parishes and maybe Avoyelles and northern parts of St. Landry. We'll kind of have to wait and see what happens with the line that's a little bit farther down toward the southwest. That one there possibly could fizzle out, but we'll have just kind of have to watch and wait and see. But so far, I haven't seen any other things about the possibility of a mesoscale discussion, but it does look like maybe, yeah, it looks like they've extended the tornado watch that will now include parts of Allen, Evangeline, as well as St. Landry, Avoyelles, and Rapides parishes. So I'm going to go ahead and try to get that graphic back up as you look at the radar there. I'm going to go ahead and put the radar loop up so we can see the motion of what's going on there. And if you give me just a second, we get that other graphic up, and we'll see what parishes have been extended into this severe thunderstorm watch that will be until 11 o'clock. It looks like it's going to include many of the US Highway 190 parishes, including Allen, Evangeline, and perhaps St. Landry Parish is going to be in this as well. So that severe thunderstorm warning has been extended there. So it's going to move a little bit farther toward the east, and that was kind of expected too, that they would add those parishes in there because of the fact that a lot of the severe weather has already moved out of the original severe thunderstorm watch. So tornado warnings are just about ready to drop off here over portions of Rapides Parish. We got just a few more minutes for those as right now. Still trying to find that new updated graphic with the new parishes that are in this severe thunderstorm watch that's been posted. Originally, it only included Allen and Beauregard and Vernon parishes, but it does appear that it's been extended now to include a few more parishes, including what it looks like is Allen, Evangeline, and St. Landry, Rapides, and going into Avoyelles Parish as well. So that is what I'm looking at least at this moment. We'll see if we can get this county map up here, or this county and parish map, as it tries to get updated. Storm Prediction Center's old graphic still doesn't have the new parishes in here. So what I'm going to do is I've got kind of a rough type of graphic that we will throw up here briefly, and maybe we can get more of those parishes shown to the folks that are watching right now. Meanwhile, on the radar, you can see those heavy downpours continue to come in, and those tornado warnings that we have now for parts of Rapides Parish are going to be expiring here in just a couple of minutes. We did have a couple of tornado warnings that were there, and those particular tornado warnings look like they're going to go ahead and expire. Graphic that I'm going to put up here again, it's we're kind of trying to figure out where the other graphic, the better graphic is, but you can see that the rather severe thunderstorm watch has now been extended, and that's going to include more parishes there along US Highway 190. It's going to include Allen, Evangeline, St. Landry, Avoyelles, and Rapides parishes. So as these new watches get posted on here, I'm going to try to update the crawl here at the bottom of the screen, as it looks like I've got a couple of warnings that may have already expired. Give me a couple of minutes. I'm going to back off. We'll turn the music on for just a second, and we'll get these crawls on social media posted, back up and posted, and I'll be back with you in about 5 minutes. So about 9:47 to 9:50, I'll be back. You're watching Acadiana Weather Today, severe weather information and radar loop, and I'm meteorologist Dave Baker. Okay, I'm meteorologist Dave Baker, watching Acadiana Weather Today, a live stream with severe weather information. And right as we walked away, we have a new severe thunderstorm warning. And this one is going to be in effect until 10:45. It covers a large part of Allen, most of Evangeline, western portions of St. Landry, and northern portions of Acadia Parish. This particular severe thunderstorm could produce winds up to 60 miles per hour and nickel-sized hail. The communities you can see there shaded in red are currently under that severe thunderstorm warning. And Eunice, Church Point, Branch, Lawtell, Chautauqua, Mamou, Ville Platte, Pine Prairie, Whiteville, Turkey Creek, Basile, Oakdale, Oberlin, and Elizabeth are all within this particular severe thunderstorm warning. Just to give you a heads up that the tornado warnings that we had over Rapides Parish, those have since expired. So let's talk more about this particular severe thunderstorm warning that is now in effect. There's the look at the radar there. You can see that the warning box there is over parts of St. Landry, Evangeline, as well as into portions of Allen Parish too. You can kind of see where this warning box is right about in here. So that's where the severe thunderstorm warning is, and that is going to be in effect until 10:45. Wind speeds could be as high as 60 miles per hour. Just about 9:41, severe thunderstorm was located near Oakdale, 6 miles east of Oberlin, moving east at about 30 miles per hour. So that particular thunderstorm is going to be bringing some damaging winds. There's a possibility you could see some hail as well. As we went over, Eunice, Oakdale, Ville Platte, Church Point, Mamou, Basile, Oberlin, Elizabeth, Turkey Creek, Pine Prairie, Chautauqua, Mowata, Bayou Chico. Prairie Ronde is in this, as well as the Allen Parish Airport and Lawtell. So many of those areas that are along 165, right along LA 13. You've got US Highway 190 that's in that particular area. So again, that's a place where you need to be aware that you have a strong thunderstorm coming in your direction. Lawtell there along US Highway 190. Some of the other highways that would be impacted by this would be LA 104. LA 95, LA 29 is another area that could be impacted. You've got LA 368 and LA 91, that's right around the Eunice area. And also LA 26 out to the west. So quite a few of the roadways there that are going to be impacted by this particular thunderstorm as it moves off toward the east. So again, the heaviest amounts of rain right now seem to be coming down in Oberlin and Oakdale, so it's right there along that 165 corridor. And if you live along LA 10, perhaps between Oakdale and just north of Mamou over toward Ville Platte, you're going to be in the path of this storm. Turkey Creek, you're starting to get a little bit of rain there, but the big stuff is still off to your west. But Woodworth, Forest Hill, and Glenmora all are getting very, very heavy rains right now. And that entire line continues to slide a little bit farther toward the south, getting down into portions of Acadia Parish. So you can see how this big line of thunderstorms there continues to move off toward the south. By the way, those two tornado warnings that are there have expired. So we'll go ahead and refresh that real quick and see if that gets out of the way. Yeah, those warnings are gone now. So we've got still a severe thunderstorm warning until 10 for parts of Rapides Parish. Then we've got a severe thunderstorm warning until 10:45 for these other parishes a little bit farther toward the south. So just to give you a real quick look here, we still have a severe thunderstorm watch that's in effect for Beauregard, Vernon, Rapides, Avoyelles, Allen, Evangeline, and St. Landry parishes. We have a severe thunderstorm warning that's still in effect for much of Rapides Parish until 10 o'clock. And then we also have a severe thunderstorm warning that was just recently issued that covers Allen, Evangeline, St. Landry, and parts of Acadia. There is a lot of lightning associated with this particular thunderstorm as well. So as we continue to look at the radar here, that line of thunderstorms continues to push eastward. It's now trucking through central parts of Rapides Parish. Also, the heavy amounts of rain have now extended their way down into Allen Parish, basically all along this US Highway 165 corridor, which basically runs right about in here down to the I-10. So if you live on either side of 165, you are getting the very heavy rains right now. LA10 runs east and west, as well as US Highway 190. Both of those roads will be impacted by this. The communities of Fenton and Basile are now starting to get into the heavy stuff, while Eunice, Mamu, and Pine Prairie, there along the LA13, still you're waiting to get in on the action. The radar that I'm looking at right here, that I'm showing you, is just a couple of minutes old, but it does appear that the rains have already crossed over into Evangeline Parish. So if you live in Mamu and Eunice, or anywhere along that LA13 corridor from Turkey Creek southward all the way into Acadia Parish, be aware of this storm, because it is going to be quite strong as it comes through, and there's a lot of wind that's going to be coming along with this as well. So there's a better look at the strongest part of this line of thunderstorms. It basically stretches from about Colfax down across the Red River and into central portions of Rapides Parish, and then it slides a little bit farther toward the south into Allen, which is now crossing into western portions of Evangeline Parish. Then you still got some decent rain, not as much lightning, but there's still lightning and thunder across parts of northern Jeff Davis Parish. And then this line extends all the way down to the Texas state line there, a little bit farther toward the south. And there are some more thunderstorms back over toward Houston, but right now it looks like we've got lighter rains that are a little bit farther off toward the west. Still waiting to get an update on with the new parishes when it comes to the that new severe thunderstorm watch. The one that's been extended, it did just cover Vernon and Beauregard and Allen parishes, but now that's been extended farther east to include Rapides, Avoyelles, Evangeline, and St. Landry parishes as well. So as soon as I get that graphic up together, we'll go to see if we can get that up for you to give you a little bit better information on who is under a severe thunderstorm watch until 11 o'clock. So that's about another hour, and I think that will probably cover it for most of our Acadiana region. But we'll go ahead and stay live for right now with the 3 severe thunderstorm warnings that are out, one until 10:45. And you've got some pretty decent cells that are moving across western portions of Evangeline Parish, now coming through Basile, and you're eventually going to be getting some decent rain. It looks like perhaps in Jennings and Welsh as well. Iota, you're also in the path of this storm, and if you live in Crowley, you're probably seeing some pretty good lightning off to your northwest. Some pop-up thunderstorms, though, are starting to fire up here right ahead of that line of thunderstorms over western St. Landry, so you might get a brief shower there around Church Point, and perhaps some rain there on the west side of Opelousas too, and then getting over to around Ville Platte. We've got some rains that are coming down there as well. So that severe thunderstorm warning again covers a good part of Evangeline, St. Landry, Acadia, and Allen Parish. Again, this is going to be in effect until 10:45, and the threat with this one is 60 mile per hour winds and also some nickel-sized hail. We'll go back over here real quick and look at the big picture. We'll just go ahead and real quick also put this into motion so that you can see what this looks like and which direction everything is going. We've got those bigger thunderstorms that have continued to move through Alexandria. We've still got a severe thunderstorm warning that covers all of Rapides Parish until 10 o'clock, so just a couple of more minutes here. And then we've got a severe thunderstorm warning that's in effect until 9:45 for areas around Allen, Evangeline, St. Landry, and Acadia parishes. Of course, we are going to be watching out for the possibility of some more severe weather as we go into Friday as well. The Storm Prediction Center had a good part of Acadiana under a level 2, a slight risk for severe weather going into Friday. There are areas of rain that are out there, but most of the heavy rains have been back over into Texas. But we've got a pretty good heavy line of thunderstorms that's continuing to move off toward the east, and as it does, we'll be watching those here in Lafayette as well. I'm going to step back for just a second. We're going to let one of these warnings here drop off here at 10 o'clock. I'm going to fix the crawl, update some social media, and I will be back shortly after 10 o'clock. I'm meteorologist Dave Baker, and you're watching Acadiana Weather Today's live stream as severe weather moves across Acadiana. Hi, Acadiana, 10 o'clock, just after 10 o'clock or so. A new severe thunderstorm warning, or a thunderstorm warning, I should say, has been extended here for parts of Rapides and Avoyelles parishes. This particular severe thunderstorm warning is going to be in effect until 11 o'clock. Just a bit before 10 o'clock, National Weather Service radar indicating a thunderstorm near Turkey Creek. Moving off to the east at 30 miles per hour. Looks like it's a fairly long line of thunderstorms. 60-mile-per-hour winds and penny-sized hail are going to be expected with this storm. Alexandria, Pineville, Marksville, Bunkie, Simmsport, Glenmora, Moroville, Cheneyville, Turkey Creek, Bordelonville, Alexandria, as well as Ball, Cottonport, Mansura, Lacombe, Hesmer, Evergreen, and Tioga are all in this particular severe thunderstorm warning. This will be in effect again until 11 o'clock later on tonight. So let's go back in here and take a look at what we've got when it comes to the line of thunderstorms. The new severe thunderstorm warning covers there much of Rapides and Avoyelles parishes as this line of thunderstorms continues to push off toward the east. Been some pretty big winds associated with this particular thunderstorm as it's moved off toward the east. So it's got quite the history of some big thunderstorms. The leading edge of this is where some of the gustier winds are. This particular line of thunderstorms really hasn't been bowing quite as much as it was earlier, but as it moves off toward the east into Avoyelles Parish, we do anticipate the possibility of seeing some strong or possibly some damaging winds to go along with that as well. Did want to also remind you that not just that severe thunderstorm warning, but we also have another severe thunderstorm warning that's in effect until 10:45, and that would cover portions of Acadia, St. Landry, Evangeline, as well as Allen parishes. So that is something that we're watching pretty closely as well with that particular thunderstorm moving off toward the east. So let's go ahead and zoom in a little bit more on that. Evangeline Parish, anywhere along the LA 13 corridor, you are getting the heavy rains as we speak, and it's continuing to push off toward the east. Mamou, you're getting in on the action right now. Eunice, it's right on your doorstep. Chaitanya, you're probably seeing some lightning off toward the west. Pine Prairie and Turkey Creek, you're already getting some of the heavier downpours. And we've got some heavy rains that are now developing ahead of the main line, just a little bit farther off toward the east. And that moves into portions of St. Landry, and even western portions of Lafayette Parish are now starting to see some moderate rains. But I have noticed with the bigger line of thunderstorms that's farther toward the west here, which was the original line of thunderstorms here, the lightning doesn't seem to be quite as prevalent, so maybe we're starting to see some indications of weakening of that particular storm. Now, I will say that the lightning strikes are still quite prevalent here over Alexandria. It does not appear that that storm is weakening, so if you live in Marksville or Bunkie, you want to make sure you're aware of this thunderstorm coming in your direction. It still could pack some gusty winds and also could have some small hail to go along with it. The thunderstorm line does extend farther toward the south, and you can see it extends all the way down into Cameron Parish, although the line is considerably thinner and it's also weaker, and we're not seeing as much lightning as you go a little bit farther toward the southwest. But it doesn't mean that we can't still get a couple of pretty strong thunderstorms. I mean, even this southern portion of this line of thunderstorms is just outside of the watch area or the warning area, also could still bring some gusty winds. So right about in here through western Acadia and northern portions of Jeff Davis Parish, don't be surprised if you get some pretty decent winds to come in along with that one. And that is why we still have that severe thunderstorm warning that's going to be in effect until 10:45. So about another 45 minutes or so, we'll continue to see that. The rest of the thunderstorms do appear to be weakening somewhat, so hopefully that's going to be the trend so that we don't have to deal with too much severe weather, especially now that it has gotten dark, because it gets a lot more dangerous when you're talking about damaging winds and the possibility of tornadoes when it's dark outside, so you can't see a whole lot there. So these lines of thunderstorms are going to continue to move off toward the east. Just to give you a real quick view here of what it looks like as it's moving. You can see that the line of thunderstorms was very strong there west of Alexandria, and then once it's crossed over to the east, it's broken up just a little bit, but it is still a fairly powerful storm, and I wouldn't be surprised if they've had some small hail come down in and around Alexandria or Pineville. Marksville, you are still on the doorstep of this. Lacombe, you're getting into it now. Cheneyville, you've got some heavy rain, and Bunkie, looks like you've got not just the rain coming in from the west, but you've also got a few thunderstorms that are coming in from the south as well. Also wanted to check out parts of the I-49 corridor here between Lafayette and Opelousas. Some pretty good thunder showers, or at least some pop-up activity there. Not necessarily a whole lot of lightning associated with these storms, maybe one or two strikes here and there, but these thunderstorms do seem to be growing, and if you live there along the I-49 corridor there, anywhere from Opelousas to maybe around Kangton and Sunset, you're going to be getting these rains initially, and then you're going to get what's left of this other line of thunderstorms coming in from the west. But really hoping that these thunderstorms are going to start to calm down a little bit as they move off toward the east. Still, we do have a severe thunderstorm watch that does cover portions of Allen, Evangeline, St. Landry, Rapides, as well as Avoyelles parishes, and that is going to be in effect until 11 o'clock. So about another hour or so where we're looking at the possibility of some severe weather, mainly over the northern portions of Acadiana. Let's go back to look at some of the graphics, and again, this was the original severe thunderstorm watch, but it does now include Evangeline, St. Landry, Avoyelles, and Rapides, so you can add those to the list, and those are the primary areas that are now starting to see more of the severe weather. We've also got a severe thunderstorm warning that's in effect until 11 o'clock, and that covers Rapides and most of Avoyelles parishes and the extreme northern portions of St. Landry parish as well. And then we still have a severe thunderstorm warning that's in effect for parts of Allen, Evangeline, St. Landry, and Acadia parishes, and this will be in effect until 10:45. All of these thunderstorms here are producing damaging winds and the possibility of some small hail. Thunderstorms the thunderstorms all around do look like they're starting to break down, and I'm also starting to see some indications of the rains kind of tapering off on the backside of this as well. So let's look at a big picture as this thing refreshes, and you can see the main line of thunderstorms is still fairly strong there over Rapides, now moving into portions of Avoyelles Parish. But farther down toward the south, as you get into the LA 13 corridor there through Evangeline Parish, the rain is a little bit more on the moderate side compared to what it was just a little while ago. So that might be some signs that we're going to see some improvement. And it looks like the severe thunderstorm warning has been dropped for the far western parishes. So Allen Parish, you are in the clear right now, but Evangeline, St. Landry, as well as portions of Acadia, you are still under that severe thunderstorm warning until 10:45. So you folks live in Oakdale and Oberlin, you're still getting some decent rains out there, but it looks like the severe weather threat has now passed the 165 corridor. Therefore, the portions of this severe thunderstorm warning that cover parts of Allen Parish, that's been dropped now. So we're in better shape for farther western sections of those regions. And that is one of the things that we're going to continue to watch for. And I'm going to get you the updated graphic here on this particular severe thunderstorm warning. There's a look at the thunderstorms as we see them right now, moving off toward the east. And this is now the updated severe thunderstorm warning that takes out most of Allen Parish. So if you still live there in those communities in Evangeline Parish, St. Landry Parish, and northern parts of Acadia Parish, you are still under a severe thunderstorm warning until 10:45. The other severe thunderstorm warning that still remains in effect is for the areas a little bit farther toward the north. into portions of Rapides and Avoyelles Parish. And I think this is probably where we're going to be looking at the possibility of more of the severe weather compared to what we're seeing farther toward the south. So we'll go ahead and transition back into this particular thunderstorm, and it is looking a little bit more broken up, but it's still a pretty powerful storm here as it moves into Avoyelles Parish. So most of Rapides, most of the I-49, anywhere from the St. Landry Parish line all the way up past Boyce is seeing some extreme rains right now. But they do seem to be lightening just a little bit, and I'm not seeing quite as much lightning itself. But if you live in Marksville, Mansura, over towards Simmsport, getting into Cottonport and Bunkie, you do want to be aware of this thunderstorm as it comes in, and more than likely you're going to hear all the thunder coming well ahead of the storm coming itself. So a little bit farther to the south, we've got some of those newer thunderstorms that are trying to fire up here right along the I-49. That covers the western part of Lafayette Parish. So if you live over around Dussault, you're probably getting some decent rains right now. Karen Crow got some heavy rains earlier. You're not seeing much rain right now, but it's on the way. We've also got some fairly heavy rains up around Church Point, and a lot of this is now stretching along the I-49 or just west of the I-49 there from about the Sunset exit going up near Washington. So that would be basically between mile marker 7 and maybe 22 or so. We're starting to see some pretty heavy rains there on the I-49. Then there's a little bit of a break in that little part of I-49 where you go back and forth in and out of Evangeline and St. Landry Parish, but then it really starts to pick up once again as you get farther to the north. So once you get into Rapides Parish, looks like the I-49 is pretty much socked in with that rain throughout your trip if you're going to be going up toward the north. Let's kind of investigate some of these thunderstorms we got farther to the south. Right now we're looking at Jeff Davis Parish. And in Jeff Davis Parish, we have seen some moderate rains that are coming down there. But this line of thunderstorms kind of extends all the way down to the Lake Charles area and into Cameron Parish. Not anything severe, but these are just going to kind of trail off toward the east. We're hoping that we don't see any intensification of this particular line of thunderstorms, but it seems like that this part of the storm system is kind of getting cut off from the main line of energy that we're seeing a little bit farther toward the north. And you can see that out here to the west, the rains are starting to taper off back over Texas, and even into western portions of Louisiana, the rains are starting to taper off as well. Here in Lafayette, most of the city of Lafayette, we're seeing dry conditions right now, but there is rain over toward Dussault, and then up to near Karen Crow, we're going to be seeing some rain passing there as well. And we still have that severe thunderstorm warning that's in effect for another 30 minutes that covers areas of Acadia and the panhandle of St. Landry Parish. Now we've got those bigger thunderstorms along the I-49 there between Sunset and Opelousas, but you are not under a severe thunderstorm warning there. The severe thunderstorm warning covers the other areas here as you go basically from Alexandria on down through about Turkey Creek up through Mamou. Eunice is getting the heavy rains now, and then the severe thunderstorm warning not over parts of Jeff Davis or southern parts of Acadia Parish. So hopefully we're going to be seeing some of these thunderstorms dying out, but it could get a little loud here for our northern parishes for the next maybe 45 minutes to an hour, and then most of this is going to be cruising off. At least the big stuff is going to be cruising off across the Atchafalaya River and then into southeastern portions of Louisiana. But we'll go ahead and continue to stay up here for just a little while as we've got that severe thunderstorm warning that's in effect for Rapides as well as portions of Avoyelles parishes. And then we've also got a severe thunderstorm warning that remains in effect for Allen, Evangeline, and Acadia Parish until 10:45. There is a severe thunderstorm watch. Again, I'm still trying to find the updated graphic on this particular one here, but it does include Rapides, Avoyelles, as well as portions of Evangeline and St. Landry parishes. So we do have that's still in place there. And we've got those severe thunderstorm warnings that will stay in effect at least for about another 30 minutes or so. Let's go ahead and look at the loop one more time as the thunderstorms continue to pass off toward the east. Hopefully they're going to get their way through Avoyelles Parish here pretty quick. Marksville, you are now right on the doorstep of this heavy rain, as well as Bunkie, you're getting into it as well. Cheneyville, you've already got the heavy rain coming down. And anywhere from the St. Landry Parish line going all the way up through Rapides, anywhere along that I-49 up to Boyce, you're going to have some issues with the rains coming down. Now, these rains are coming down fairly hefty as well, so there might be some localized street flooding, so do keep that in mind. More thunderstorms are trying to develop ahead of this new line of thunderstorms. Let's kind of get back into that right now as we look at the radar here. Moving into northern parts of Lafayette Parish, we're starting to see those rains. And they're getting a little stronger there, too, over parts of St. Landry Parish. So I think these might get a little hefty as they get over to around Port Barre, Krotz Springs, and Melville. And we might get some hefty thunderstorms there over the northern part of St. Martin Parish. Areas that are north of the I-10 corridor, we could see some pretty good downpours there. But we don't have any severe thunderstorm warnings out for any of those storms right now. The only two that we've got going on is one until 11 o'clock for parts of Avoyelles and Rapides Parish, and one until 10:45 that covers parts of Evangeline, St. Landry, and Acadia parishes. Right now here in Lafayette, we've got some rain on the doorstep. We're hearing a little bit of thunder here as well. But so far we haven't seen any of the severe weather threat here so far. So I'm meteorologist Dave Baker, and you are watching Acadiana Weather Today's live stream as we've got some severe weather that's coming through Acadiana. I'm going to step back for just a couple of minutes and update the crawl and also get the social media pages posted as well. And give me about 5 or 10 minutes, and at the very least I will be back with you at 10:30. Right now you are watching Acadiana Weather Today. Well, hi, Acadiana. Meteorologist Dave Baker back. I was hoping to be able to stay away until at least 10:30, but we do have a new severe thunderstorm warning that's been posted, and this is going to cover extreme eastern portions of Evangeline, as well as extreme eastern portions of Acadia, and then getting into all of St. Landry, extreme northern parts of Lafayette Parish, as well as northern portions of St. Martin. So just a few minutes ago, radar was indicating a severe thunderstorm, a line of thunderstorms basically that extends from Bunkie all the way down to Church Point, moving to the east at 25 miles per hour. Winds could gust as high as 60 miles per hour. Lafayette, Opelousas, Catahoula, Breaux Bridge, Carencro, Ville Platte, Church Point, Krotz Springs, Leonville, Arneville, Melville, Palmetto, Morrow, Sunset, Port Barry, Henderson, Washington, Grand Coteau, and Kington are all in the path of this storm. So let's go ahead and get into this new severe thunderstorm warning. And again, that's not up on the radar just yet, but when it does, it's going to cover an area right about in this region, right about here. So it's going to cover northern parts of Lafayette. It's going to go up here, and it's going to cover most of St. Landry Parish as well. So let's kind of zoom this out a little bit more, and we'll get a better idea of what we're talking about when it comes to the where that severe thunderstorm warning is. But it's really covering mostly this particular line of thunderstorms that's just recently developed, and it's going to be moving off to the east. Looks like we're getting a refresh here, but it is moving off toward the east, and there's a little bit of a bow out in the front of this here that stretches through about Carencro. So if you live up around Carencro or maybe into St. Landry Parish, up around Port Barry, Leonville too, you're going to be seeing possibility of some small hail and some gusty winds. This is basically going to include Interstate 49 between, let's say, mile marker 1 and going all the way up to probably mile marker 30 on I-49. This would also include Interstate 10 that would run basically from the I-49, I-10 interchange eastward to the Atchafalaya River. So parts of the Basin Bridge are going to be under this severe thunderstorm warning as well, even though the thunderstorms haven't quite made it that far. But this little area of thunderstorms that we're seeing right there has developed recently, and it's developed ahead of the main line of thunderstorms that's out there. And that main line of thunderstorms is still producing some severe thunderstorm warnings up around Marksville and Bunkie, and that particular severe thunderstorm warning is going to stay in effect until 11 o'clock. Now, the other severe thunderstorm warning that we had earlier that was for parts of Acadia Parish, this one looks like it's gone ahead and expired, so we won't have to worry about that one anymore. So I'll pull that one off the crawl here in just a couple of minutes, but we're going to be seeing those heavy thunderstorms coming in across the northern sections of Acadiana, but it does appear that those are going to be the regions that are going to be seeing the worst of the weather, while the southern sections of the weather are probably, this out here is probably not going to be as intense as what we were seeing earlier on the northern side of this particular storm system. So definitely we are going to be seeing some heavy rains moving through and also some gusty winds. So there's another look at the line of thunderstorms there as it moves off toward the east at about 30 miles per hour, we're thinking is that. And when it does, it's going to be bringing a pretty good gust of wind and also the possibility of some small hail. So that severe thunderstorm warning for this line of thunderstorms right here, that is going to be moving eastward along that Highway 190 corridor. So if you live over toward Port Barry, you're going to be seeing this rain if it's not already coming in. Arneville is also in the path of this storm, as well as Cecilia. Carencro, Sunset, Opelousas, and Washington, you are already getting the very heavy rains there. This severe thunderstorm warning extends eastward and does include Palmetto, Melville, and Krotz Springs, and into parts of St. Martin Parish. You're talking about Henderson and Breaux Bridge, and also Cecilia is in the path of this storm, and anywhere there along the I-10 corridor. So here in the city of Lafayette, it looks like the main part of that severe thunderstorm is going to miss us just to the north, but there are some other thunderstorms that have started to fire up a little bit farther toward the south. We got a couple of decent ones here that seem to be forming. Might be part of an outflow boundary here, or maybe there's something that's outrunning these thunderstorms, kind of undercutting them a little bit. But we are still seeing at least some bigger pop-up thunderstorms that are starting to go up here over northern parts of Vermilion Parish. So yeah, Mr. Longlinay, I see you in your chat there. That anticipated precipitative wall of doom is just to your west. If you are still out there in the jewel of Vermilion Parish, I believe that would be Erath, according to you. We are seeing the heavy rains that are out to the west along LA 14. So if you live in northern parts of Vermilion Parish, you are going to be seeing those heavy rains coming in as well. But it looks like Jennings is getting some decent downpours right now. The same going for Welsh and Lake Arthur. You're just about ready to get into the action as well. So definitely busy evening here in Acadiana. So far, we still have 2 severe thunderstorm warnings that we're still watching. One covers parts of Voiles as well as Rapides parishes. It's right here. This is up for about another 25 minutes or so. You can see the different cities that are included in that particular severe thunderstorm warning. And right now, most of the action is over Voiles parish at this point. So I'll see if I can get an updated graphic on that particular severe thunderstorm warning. We also have another severe thunderstorm warning, the one that was just recently issued here. And that does cover a good part of St. Landry, northern St. Martin, northern Lafayette, and a little piece of Evangeline and eastern parts of Acadia Parish. So that's the severe thunderstorm warning that we're talking about right now. That's until 11:30. We could see some hail, penny-sized hail, and winds gusting up to 60 miles per hour. I want to take another closer look here real quick at the radar, as we're seeing some bigger thunderstorms trying to fire up here over the northern part of Vermilion Parish, and also getting into the far southwestern portion of Lafayette Parish. We'll be watching this right here. So this is basically where LA 13 and LA 14 come together, kind of where it's on the Vermilion and Acadia Parish line. So it's going to be south of Crowley, but kind of southeast of Esterwood and northwest of Kaplan. This is starting to develop, and we'll watch that because from the general movement of all the other thunderstorms, it's probably going to head its way on into portions of Lafayette Parish. So we haven't really heard a lot of thunder or seen a lot of lightning, except maybe to our north and west. And really, most of the city of Lafayette did not get any rain during the day today. So it looks like we're going to be able to catch some of this as it moves off toward the northeast. I want to pull up the big radar here, the big radar loop, so that you can see what direction everything is going, and how also the thunderstorms seem to be weakening over at least the southern part of that, with the exception of these new thunderstorms that have fired up just southwest of Lafayette. But the big part of these thunderstorms, at least the most severe, I think, is over St. Landry and portions of Voiles parishes, and that's where we've seen the possibility of some 60-mile-per-hour winds and also some small hail. And those areas are under a severe thunderstorm warning until 11 o'clock, so another 25 minutes or so. Transitioning back over here to a closer view of Lafayette Parish, not a lot of rain for most of the parish, but if you get north of I-10 up there in Carencro, you can see that we've got some decent rains up here north of the I-10, and then that extends into portions of St. Landry Parish. So if you live, let's say, around Cankton, you're probably getting some really good rains right now. Same goes for Sunset and Grand Coteau. Carencro, you're getting moderate to heavy rain at times, as well as Opelousas, and that's now starting to push into Washington and now eastward toward Port Barry. So if you live on Highway 190 between Opelousas and Crotch Springs, get ready for some big rains to come in. And the same goes for you folks that are up into portions of Avoyles Parish, Marksville, Mansura, and Moraville and Cottonport. Bunkie, you're all getting the very, very heavy rain right now. But it is moving off toward the east, so if you live over to around the Simmsport area and maybe Plocheville, you're going to be catching a lot of this heavy rain here in the next few minutes, and then that will gradually push across the Atchafalaya River, and that will move into portions of southeastern Louisiana and southwestern portions of Mississippi. So following that line, as we just talked about, right up through St. Landry Parish, on into Avoyelles Parish. So if you live over here in the eastern part of Avoyelles Parish, over around Simmsport, your rain is on the way, and it's going to be crossing over the Atchafalaya River, and then that'll go ahead and scoot out of the region. Same goes for St. Landry Parish. Generally north and south along that I-49 corridor is where we're seeing the heaviest amounts of rain right now, and then that extends into northern parts of Lafayette Parish, and then we've got some more thunderstorms that are just trying to get going. It looks like they're going here along this outflow boundary that's right about in here. So with that, we may see a little bit more development, but something seems to be undercutting the thunderstorms a little bit farther back toward the southwest, and it might be that outflow right there. So we may see these kind of getting choked off here pretty soon, and we won't have too much to worry about along the I-10 corridor. But we'll go ahead and continue to watch at least this area of rainfall, kind of see what it does between now and the time it scoots over Lafayette and into St. Martin Parish. Hopefully these will not go severe, and we'll see that outflow boundary or whatever that might be out there kind of outrunning the main line of thunderstorms, cutting off the energy and hopefully killing that line of thunderstorms, at least for us here in the Acadiana region. I can't say the same thing about our friends a little bit farther toward the north, though. Avoyelles Parish, I think you're still going to be under the gun here for about another 30 or 40 minutes, and the same goes with St. Landry Parish. Then a lot of this is going to go ahead and cross over the Atchafalaya River, but we do have a new watch box that's gone up here for portions of Mississippi. So right here is where I think more of the severe weather is going to be occurring as we get into the nighttime period. So again, I'm going to step back for just a second, update some of these watches and warnings. It's 10:40 right now, and I'll continue to watch these thunderstorms that are here just southwest of Lafayette to see what happens there. But I will step back for just a few minutes and turn the music back on and try to update some social media here for just a couple of minutes. For now, I'm meteorologist Dave Baker, and you are watching the live stream on Acadiana Weather Today as severe weather moves across parts of Acadiana. Okay, friends, I'm meteorologist Dave Baker, and you're watching Acadiana Weather Today, live severe weather coverage. If we've got some big thunderstorms that are still moving across parts of Acadiana, we've got a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings that we're still dealing with out there. One in particular is covering parts of Voiles and Rapides parishes. This is the updated graphic, and this will be in effect until 11 o'clock. Winds up to 60 miles per hour, and some small hail could be possible with this particular thunderstorm. And with that, we're going to be seeing the possibility of some very, very heavy rains to go along with it too. And we're starting to hear the thunder and getting some rain here in the mid-city of Lafayette. So let's look at that thunderstorm first of all over Voiles Parish. It's pretty much moving off toward the east over the central part of the parish, and will eventually exit the parish off to the east once it crosses the Atchafalaya River, and those folks should be in better shape as we go into the next couple of hours or so. We do have another severe thunderstorm warning that that's the one that's went ahead and expired. Let me see if I can find the proper one. Let's go back over to the radar here, and if you get down into portions of St. Landry Parish, that particular severe thunderstorm warning is going to be in effect now until 11:30. It looks like this particular thunderstorm warning is going to be in effect until 11:30, and that is this particular severe thunderstorm warning that covers much of St. Landry, as well as northern parts of St. Martin and northern parts of Lafayette Parish. So as we look at that particular thunderstorm here, it's moving off toward the east. We're waiting for the rest of it to load there. A good part of St. Landry Parish is now still seeing the very heavy rains there. If you live over toward Arneville, you've got some really heavy stuff, maybe even some small hail around there. Leonville as well could be seeing some of the very heavy rains to go along with it. So if you live over around maybe Port Barry, you're getting some big stuff. And then a little bit farther to the south around Leonville and into Arneville is also probably seeing some pretty good thunderstorms, maybe even some small hail right in there, moving off toward the east. A lot of this right now is just to the north of the I-10 corridor. But I do want to shift a little bit farther toward the south as we've got some new development here over parts of Lafayette Parish. It is raining in the city right now, and we've got some decent rains that have come down, that are coming down now over parts of northern Vermilion Parish too, basically north of that LA-14 corridor. So Abbeville is right here, Kaplan is right here. And Maurice is right here. So you can see the areas that are still getting the heavy rains right now. And these are some newer thunderstorms that have just recently developed over the last maybe 30 minutes or so. And those are going to continue to move off toward the east. But that's some new development. But also at the same time, it does appear that maybe we're starting to see some of these bigger thunderstorms choking out. So we might continue to see some decent rains here over northern Vermilion, Lafayette, and maybe into much of St. Martin Parish. Iberia, you may get some rain, but I don't think you're going to be seeing the severe weather threat, at least for right now. But of course, we'll keep an eye on these thunderstorms right about in here down to the south that could possibly start to make their way into portions of St. Martin Parish, or maybe even on into Iberia Parish. So if you live in Youngsville and Broussard, Maurice, I think you're already probably getting some decent rain there. But if you live in Youngsville and Broussard, you're about ready to get in on the action. We've got some pretty good downpours happening here in Lafayette right now. And I'm in mid-city, not far from the river. So we're looking at some pretty heavy rains that are coming down right now. But if you live in Parks and St. Martinville and maybe over toward Delcombe, you're going to be getting into the action here pretty soon. So more rain is coming in, but so far we haven't seen any severe thunderstorm warnings being posted for any of those current regions. We've got one severe thunderstorm warning that has gone ahead, and it looks like it is has expired. We've got another severe thunderstorm warning that still remains in effect until 11:30, and that's going to cover parts of St. Landry, Lafayette, as well as northern portions of St. Martin Parish. The other severe thunderstorm warning still has a few more minutes left on it here. That's over parts of Voiles Parish, and they've issued some new severe thunderstorm warnings on the other side of the Atchafalaya River and going into Mississippi, into the Mississippi River. So we are seeing a lot of that severe weather starting to move back out of the region, and that would be a good thing as we go into the evening hours. Everybody can possibly get some rest, and we won't have to worry about any severe weather coming through during the darkness hours. Now, we have seen those very heavy thunderstorms coming through, and we still have that severe thunderstorm warning that's in effect there for parts of Voiles and into St. Landry and into northern parts of St. Martin Parish. So all of these thunderstorms are going to continue to move off toward the east, and hopefully within the next hour or so we'll start to see a lot of this starting to wind down, and we'll be in much better shape as we head into the evening. So let's again kind of take a look at that severe thunderstorm warning that we still have up there, the one that's going to be expiring here very soon. Within the next few minutes, it'll be starting to slide off toward the east, and we'll be in better shape there. Meanwhile, we're still looking at the heavy rains that are coming down here in Lafayette Parish right now. So we'll get into that radar right there and show you what's going on when it comes to the heavy rains. Lafayette and into northern parts of Vermilion parishes, anywhere between Kaplan and Abbeville, and then going up to around Maurice, seeing the heavy rains. South side of Lafayette getting some decent rains as well. Youngsville and Broussard, you're going to get in on the action here very soon. It won't be too long when you see those heavier downpours start to come in a little bit later on in the next maybe 15 minutes or so. If you live over in St. Martin Parish, be on the lookout for these thunderstorms as they're still trying to hang on here as they move off toward the east. Severe thunderstorm warning still remains in effect there for parts of St. Landry Parish and northern parts of St. Martin Parish, and we'll watch these other storms a little bit farther to the south, but thinking that maybe we're going to start to see things winding down just a little bit, which would be really, really good news. Let's go ahead and take a look at the loop one more time as we can see the direction of movement, and you can also maybe get a little bit of an idea of where the thunderstorms are going and how long they're going to last. But I also wanted to show you this bigger radar here, and at the same time wanted to try to see if I could work with this one and show you something else that we're watching. And back here to the west, we've got more of these disturbances that are starting to come in, and this could be what we're going to be looking at as we head into tomorrow. So if you see these bigger thunderstorms that are there over North Texas, those possibly could be on our doorstep tomorrow morning. And then yet these other thunderstorms that are way back here toward the northwest, I think there's a possibility we could see those pushing in here sometime tomorrow afternoon. So we've got another couple of rounds of thunderstorms, and this pattern of northwest to southeast is probably going to be staying set up for the remainder of the weekend and maybe even into the early part of next week as well. By the time we get into the middle part of next week, I do think we're going to start to see some changes when it comes to that, but I think we'll be in better shape and maybe some less rainfall there across that region as we go into the next several days. Let's get back to the local loop where we've got the heavier downpours that are continuing to come on through. We still have a severe thunderstorm warning that is just about ready to expire for parts of Voiles Parish. That one will expire at 11 o'clock, but yet we still have another severe thunderstorm. That's the severe thunderstorm watch that's going to be expiring here pretty soon. And we still have a severe thunderstorm warning that remains in effect for much of St. Landry, northern Lafayette, and into St. Martin Parish. That will be in effect until 11:30. We still have a severe thunderstorm watch that's in effect that's actually going to be expiring here at 11 o'clock. But that does cover St. Landry, Avoyelles, Rapides, and Evangeline parishes as well. But that severe thunderstorm watch is scheduled to expire here in just a couple of minutes. So I'm meteorologist Dave Baker, and you're watching Acadiana Weather, today's severe weather loop live stream. And I'm going to step back for just a second so I can update a couple of these crawls as we've got some warnings that are expiring. Check out the radar. Give me 2 or 3 minutes, and just after the 11 o'clock hour, I will be right back. You're watching Acadiana Weather Today, and I'm meteorologist Dave Baker. Okay, we made it to the 11 o'clock hour. I'm meteorologist Dave Baker, and you're watching the Severe Weather live stream here on Acadiana Weather Today on YouTube. And I want to thank all the viewers that are watching. Maybe some of you got woken up with the thunder and lightning. We expected some thunderstorms to come through during the afternoon. We've got a few of those here and there, but for the most part, looks like most of the rain has decided to come through during the evening hours. And now that we've crossed the 11 o'clock hour, we're still watching some pretty big thunderstorms that are moving across the region. And some of those have been bringing some locally heavy rain to go along with it. Now, so far, it does seem that we're starting to see some of the thunderstorms starting to kind of wind down. So let's take a little tour of what we've got going on. The severe thunderstorm warning that was up over Avoyelles Parish, that has just recently expired. The severe thunderstorm warning that still covers St. Landry, northern parts of Lafayette, and into St. Martin Parish, that particular severe thunderstorm warning will still be in effect until 11:30, and there's a look at the map for that particular severe thunderstorm. And we don't have any others that are going on right now, and the severe thunderstorm watch that was posted for the region has expired as well. That expired just at 11 o'clock. So let's get back into the radar here real quick, and what you're hearing if you live here in Lafayette, what you're hearing is the thunder and the lightning out there right now, and we've got some pretty decent rains that are coming down right around Maurice. I wouldn't be surprised if there was some hail to go along with it too. We're getting a lot of lightning and thunder here in the hub city as well. Scott, you've had some decent rains today, and you're probably going to see that starting to wind down a little bit. Youngsville and Broussard, you're just now starting to get into the action and into portions of St. Martin Parish and maybe even into Iberia. You're going to be getting into some of that heavier rain as well. But so far, I haven't seen any new severe thunderstorm warnings being posted. Let's take a look real quick at Vermilion Parish, though, as Vermilion Parish is also seeing some spotty heavier downpours. Abbeville, you're already in the rain. LA 14 kind of runs right back through here, through Guédon and Lake Arthur. So anywhere along that LA 14 corridor and points northward are getting some decent rains right now, and some heavy stuff just now starting to get into Abbeville. Kaplan, you're getting a good downpour right now. Maurice has got the heaviest amounts of rain that I can see on the radar. And it looks like some spotty new stuff is trying to develop over parts of Iberia Parish. So let's kind of swing it over in that direction. And this is kind of how some of this activity that's over Lafayette right now got started, right ahead of a big line of thunderstorms. We started seeing some more spotty storms developing ahead of the main line, and that's been the case here, and it looks like it's trying to do that again here over parts of Iberia Parish and into St. Mary Parish as well. Sorry about forgetting to clear the telestrator there. But we've got some heavy rains that are coming down there. Still got that severe thunderstorm warning in effect for just a little bit longer, about 25 minutes or so for much of St. Landry Parish. If you live over to around Crotch Springs and Melville, the rains are just now reaching you. But if you live in Port Barry and Palmetto and areas around 3 Mile Lake, you've already been seeing the heavy rains. Arneville got hit pretty good with some heavy rain. Cecilia, you're getting it right now. Brobridge has moderate rain, and Henderson, you're just about ready to get started on some of these rains. It looks like a nice little pop-up storm has just popped up here west of St. Martinville too. So some of these smaller storms that are just now getting going here are going to possibly get bigger as they move across the Atchafalaya River and then on into Iberville Parish. But this originated as a very big line of thunderstorms that came out of Texas. The strongest of the weather right now is in eastern St. Landry and eastern Avoyelles. The Avoyelles Parish warning has already expired, but the St. Martin, or the St. Landry, St. Martin Parish severe thunderstorm warning still remains in effect until 11:30. So a few more minutes, and this is going to go ahead and cross over the Atchafalaya River, and then our friends up along there from Simmsport down to Melville and Crotch Springs will be able to breathe a sigh of relief and maybe get some sleep as these thunderstorms will roll on by. For those of us who live in Lafayette Parish, as I put on Facebook a couple hours ago, it might get a little loud. and it has gotten pretty loud here in Lafayette. And then we've got a lot of lightning out there too. And we've got flashes of lightning that continue across a large part of Vermilion Parish, with some newer thunderstorms trying to fire up here a little bit farther toward the east. We'll have to see what results in that. Is we've had a pretty good outflow boundary right ahead of these thunderstorms that may be starting to choke off something, but at this point we're still seeing development. So if you live in New Iberia or you live in St. Martinville, be ready, because these thunderstorms looks like they're going to be on the way. Same goes with Delcombe, and over to around Jeanerette, you are actually getting a decent shower right now, with some pop-ups ahead of it. So if you live in eastern St. Martin, Iberia, or into St. Mary Parish, things are going to get a little spotty at first, but then you may get a little more thunderstorm activity rolling in as we head through the evening. Now, the severe thunderstorm watch that was posted for our northern parishes went ahead and expired at 11 o'clock. We also had a severe thunderstorm warning that was in effect for parts of Avoyelles Parish that also expired at 11 o'clock. But we still have a severe thunderstorm warning that covers a good chunk of St. Landry, St. Martin, and northern parts of Lafayette Parish. I think that northern part of Lafayette Parish is probably in the clear now. The same goes with those little chunks of Acadia and Evangeline. I think the primary threat of the line of thunderstorms right now is going to be areas right along the Atchafalaya River. So if you live there anywhere between Krotz Springs and Melville, and then up to around Simmsport, that's probably where the worst of the weather is going to be. A lot of lightning out there. We've got some thunder as well. But so far we haven't seen any severe weather coming down here in the city of Lafayette, nor into Vermilion Parish. Looks like, well, let's take that back. It looks like we've got a new severe thunderstorm warning that has just popped up in the last minute or so. This is going to be for parts of Vermilion Parish, as well as Iberia and St. Mary and St. Martin Parish. So this is going to be a fairly large area that we're talking about that's going to be under a severe thunderstorm warning. So let me see if I can get the picture here so we know exactly what we're talking about, and I'll get that up on the screen here in just a couple of minutes. But this particular severe thunderstorm warning is going to be in effect a little bit later on here tonight. Let's look at this here. This is going to be until midnight, and there are the areas that are under the severe thunderstorm warning. If you live in Broussard, New Iberia, Jeanerette, Franklin, Weeks, Avery Island, over toward Abbeville, Henry, Intracoastal City, down into, let's say, Abbeville. Looks like you are also under this severe thunderstorm warning, as well as Erath and Delcombe. So again, be on the lookout, because this particular thunderstorm could produce some gusty winds and perhaps some hail to go along with it. Let's kind of go through the bulletin. Just a couple of minutes ago, a severe thunderstorm was a line basically from Breaux Bridge to Erath all the way down to Forked Island, moving to the southeast at 25 miles per hour. 60-mile-per-hour winds and penny-sized hail is possible with this particular thunderstorm. Locations that are in the watch or in the warning box are Lafayette, New Iberia, Abbeville, Scott, Franklin, St. Martinville, Jeanerette, Kaplan, Forked Island, Intracoastal City, Sycamore Point, Avery Island, Broussard, Youngsville, Baldwin, Erath, Delcombe, Maurice, Lauraville, and Lydia. So if you live in any of those communities, you are under a severe thunderstorm warning until midnight. This line of thunderstorms is going to produce winds in excess of 60 miles per hour and possibly some small hail. Heaviest amounts of rain are coming down right now here in Lafayette and stretching down to around Maurice. But we've seen some other thunderstorms that are starting to pop up a little bit farther off toward the east. So that's why the National Weather Service has gone ahead and put that severe thunderstorm warning out for a bigger chunk of the Acadiana region. We'll look at that warning area real quick once again here, and you can see it covers basically the city of Lafayette and everything southward, much of Vermilion Parish, virtually all of Iberia, southern portions of Upper St. Martin, and the western portions of St. Mary Parish. So big thunderstorms are continuing to move across the region, and that's going to be the case here now, it looks like, until at least midnight for those parts of Acadiana. So we are looking at Very heavy rains that are continuing to come down, stretching across a good part of the region. And as we go back over here to the radar, we can see that we've got those heavy rains that are stretching here from LA 14 right on up into Lafayette. That also includes I-10, US Highway 90 and US Highway 167. LA 31 there in the western part of St. Martin Parish will also be impacted by this storm. And as you go a little bit farther toward the south into portions of Iberia Parish, some of the roadways that will be impacted there would be LA 182, perhaps LA 96 over there near St. Martinville and St. Martin Parish. You've got LA 92, LA 88, and 89 that will also be impacted by this storm. And you also have Ambassador Caffrey and the Youngsville Highway too, that will definitely be seeing the heavy rains there. Also keep in mind, if you live a little farther to the east into Lauraville and over toward Jeanerette and Lydia, you're also in the path of this storm. So if you live there along Highway 90 or LA 83, you're going to be seeing some pretty heavy rains and possibly some gusty winds and small hail, and that extends all the way down to the 318 as you get down there into portions of St. Mary Parish. I think Franklin is also in this, although Franklin probably will not be seeing the rain here for yet another maybe 30 or 40 minutes, at least the main line of thunderstorms there. As you can see, most of St. Mary Parish is in the clear right now, with the cell that's developed back there to right around Jeanerette. And then off to the northwest, it becomes more spotty again, right around New Iberia, and then on into portions of Lafayette Parish. So this doesn't seem to be wanting to let up just yet, so that severe thunderstorm warning will stay in effect until until midnight. I'm going to step back for just a couple of minutes, update the crawl, get social media posted. Give me about 2 or 3 minutes, and I'll jump right back in. You're watching Acadiana Weather Today, severe weather coverage, and I'm meteorologist Dave Baker. Okay, folks, I'm meteorologist Dave Baker. It is now 11:16 on this May the 30th, and we still have a severe thunderstorm warning that's in effect for parts of Lafayette, St. Martin, Iberia, Vermilion, and St. Mary parishes. We've got a thunderstorm producing winds as high as 60 miles per hour and some penny-sized hail. So let's go ahead and take a look at that particular thunderstorm. It doesn't look as impressive as it did just a little while ago, but still we're getting some decent rains that are across the southern parts of Lafayette Parish right now. This particular storm is dumping some very heavy rains in St. Martinville, Maurice, and now getting into Abbeville and Kaplan as well. And we've got some bigger rains that are farther off toward the west as well, and stretching toward the Gulf Coast, getting over to around Pecan Island. May see an outflow boundary coming through, so you're probably getting a good breeze there. And then it looks like the rest of the thunderstorms are kind of being undercut, so we're not seeing as much development back over toward the west. But I did want to show you that we do have more thunderstorms that are coming through, and those are going to be coming in probably early tomorrow morning, and then yet another round is possible as we go into tomorrow afternoon. In fact, the Storm Prediction Center has us with a level 2 on our severe weather threat going into tomorrow. So the possibility of some severe weather is going to be there once again. Let's go ahead and take a look at that bigger radar. And as we were talking about, this particular radar here is showing several different lines of showers and thunderstorms, and one in particular here going through Acadiana right now, but yet another one that's just south of Dallas. This is one that could potentially make its way into southeast Texas and possibly impact Louisiana sometime tomorrow morning. And then there's yet another developing back here toward the west. We'll have to see what happens with this. This might actually rotate into a low pressure area and move along the Red River Valley and then kind of cruise back off toward the northeast. So there is a possibility that we could see maybe a low pressure area right about in here, sliding off toward the north and east, and that would eventually give us the better chance. That would see that main low pressure area kind of moving off toward the north, and then the main line of thunderstorms that we're seeing a little bit farther here would be shifting off toward the south and the east. So getting back to that radar, you can see that we've got a lot of rain out there. We're still getting some decent thunder and lightning here. Getting some messages on the live chat about possibly some 50-mile-per-hour winds down around Judice in the western part of Lafayette Parish, and some power flickers going on as well. That's coming from Josh Gadgets and More, user that was a good friend of ours earlier today on our Let's Talk Tropics. He brought up a really good idea about how to get prepared for hurricane season. And if you want to check out Let's Talk Tropics, today's version, it is located on the channel. You just go to the page, you'll be able to find that under the live tab, and it's the Let's Talk Tropics that we did earlier today. But I want to thank them for sending me these the weather information. And if you do have a weather report, pop that up in the chat. But make sure you give me what the damage or what you saw, what kind of weather you saw, and also give me the location. The closest location you can, because that helps out. And sometimes if it's bad enough, I can refer that to the National Weather Service, and we can put that into the storm reports as well. And that helps them, and that also helps the Storm Prediction Center and everybody else that works together in the meteorological world to try to get things, better warnings out and make things safer for everybody. So let's get back into the radar here real quick, as we're talking about these heavier downpours that are out there, and the rains are going to continue to come down, and there's that severe thunderstorm warning. But you can see that most of the area that's under the warning right now, it's not exactly an organized area of rain. So what we're looking at here is more of the spotty stuff that's out there, but you're still going to be able to get some decent rains that are out there over parts of Iberia Parish and going into St. Mary Parish as well. These rains are coming down quite heavy now over parts of St. Martin Parish, and we also have a severe thunderstorm warning that's still in effect for another few minutes here off to the north and west of us that would cover parts of St. Landry Parish. It's this one right here. And this is going to be in effect until 11:30. But as you can see on the radar, a good chunk of the severe threat is now moving across the Atchafalaya River out of St. Landry Parish. So you folks in Melville and Krotz Springs are still getting the heavy downpours right now, but it is going to be coming to an end within the next few minutes or so. That warning does extend into northern parts of St. Martin Parish, but I don't think that particular area is going to be affected by severe weather quite as much as what we've seen over parts of St. Landry. But again, that is going to be in effect for another 8 minutes or so, and then we'll be able to drop that one off the list as well. So let's get back over to the radar and kind of see what else is going on. Back to the southwest, we've got a little bit of shower and thunderstorm activity, but it just really does not seem to be too strong at this point. We still have the warning for these storms that are going to go ahead and cruise off toward the south and east. So if you live down towards Sipmore Point, you'll probably be getting some rain, and the same goes to around Lydia and Jeanerette. Still a lot of thunder here in Lafayette and a lot of lightning to go along with it, but it does appear that the bigger thunderstorms are starting to exit the region now, and here in Lafayette we're going to be seeing improving conditions within the next 15 to 20 minutes or so, and we'll just get to some light to moderate rain for a while before things begin to taper back off. And you can see that the back edge of that rain has now crossed over the Sabine there over Cenla. Cenla really kind of got hit hard with some rain earlier this morning, some thunderstorms earlier this morning, and then they got the second round today, and there's another round that will be coming in as we go into tomorrow with those two areas of rain that could potentially reach Louisiana, one tomorrow morning and maybe one tomorrow afternoon. Getting back to that other severe thunderstorm warning that's in effect until midnight, again, that is going to cover parts of St. Mary, Iberia, St. Martin, Lafayette, and Vermilion parishes. And right now, that storm does not look to be quite as impressive as it did just a little while ago, but the warning indeed does continue there. And they've got some special marine warnings that are up now, for parts of Vermilion Bay, too. I'm hoping that nobody's out there boating, but I know there are some offshore guys farther out that are probably seeing the lightning off to the north as these thunderstorms kind of race off toward the southeast. There's a bit of moderate rain that's still coming down back here to the west, just southwest of Beaumont, or rather southwest of Lake Charles. We do have some rains that are still coming down now over those parts of Acadiana, and some of that rain is going to be moving off toward the east a little bit later on, and eventually it will go ahead and push offshore. But that's a pretty heavy cell that's there as well, moving across portions of the Gulf Coast right there along the Gulf Coast of Cameron Parish. And that is going to be another storm that we're going to be watching, probably pushing into the offshore waters, and we won't have to worry about that a whole lot here over the next hour or so. But that particular storm there most likely will stay offshore, but it might be able, if it holds on, it might be able to clip portions of Cameron as well as Vermilion parishes. So that is something that we'll be watching here over the next hour or so. Meanwhile, the heavier amounts of rain, or the concentrated areas where we're seeing a severe thunderstorm warning, does cover parts of Lafayette, Vermilion, Iberia, St. Martin, and St. Mary. These are more kind of hodgepodge, disorganized storms, so but any one of these could produce winds as high as 60 miles per hour and possibly some small hail. The severe thunderstorm warning that covered much of St. Landry Parish is just about ready to wind down. It looks like it's already, expired. So that one will go ahead and pull down. If you give me just a couple of minutes, I'm going to step back. We'll get rid of the crawl. Still some good thunder, though, here in Lafayette this evening. Very, very loud out there, even though the rains have started to taper off. So you're watching the live stream as severe weather moves across Acadiana. This is Acadiana Weather Today, and I'm meteorologist Dave Baker. Okay, hi Acadiana, meteorologist Dave Baker back here on Acadiana Weather Today as we look at the severe weather live stream. This is kind of an updated graphic here of the severe thunderstorm warning that will remain in effect until midnight. So you can see that the areas of northern Vermilion and much of Lafayette Parish has been dropped from this particular warning as the severe weather threat has passed. But we still got some decent storms that are over parts of Iberia and into western portions of St. Mary Parish. So let's look at the radar here. And again, it's still kind of broken. It's not quite the solid line that we were looking at earlier, but some of these thunderstorms could produce some gusty winds and perhaps some small hail to go along with it. So severe thunderstorm warning will remain in effect for parts of Vermilion, Iberia, and St. Mary parishes and the extreme southern portions of St. Martin Parish until midnight. So about another 30 minutes or so. Earlier today, we had a severe thunderstorm watch that was over parts of Acadiana. That has since expired, and it looks like all of the other warnings have now expired across Acadiana, with the exception of this one here that will remain in effect until midnight. So if you live in Iberia, western St. Mary, extreme southern St. Martin, or the coastal areas of Vermilion Parish, you are still under a severe thunderstorm warning here for just a little while. Most areas did end up getting some rain across the region this evening, and we've got a couple of more areas of rain that are going to be starting to come in farther from the west. We've got this pattern that comes in from the northwest and goes off toward the south and east, and as it does, it's been dragging a lot of these different disturbances across the region. And when we look at this here, you can see that we've got the line that's coming through Acadiana right now. There's another line that's just about ready to cross the I-35 corridor there south of Dallas, and then yet another round of heavy rain and a line of thunderstorms with another disturbance that's off toward the northwest, and that is going to be impacting us perhaps sometime tomorrow. Now, there's some question about the area that's a little bit farther inland up there to around up into the Texas Panhandle, where we may be seeing that rain developing, but there's a possibility that we're going to be seeing a low pressure area developing out of this, and therefore we could be seeing the possibility of some of a low pressure area maybe developing and moving off toward the northeast, kind of away from this particular main line of thunderstorms. So if that were to happen, if low pressure were to develop out of this, it might kind of spin its way on in that direction and be dislodged from some of these thunderstorms. But I really think this is going to head in our direction, and perhaps another one over here could be heading off toward the south. But we are talking about these northwesterly flows that have been coming in with these disturbances, and we really don't see that pattern changing a whole lot. Now, whether or not that's going to mean we're going to be seeing a whole bunch of severe weather across Acadiana, that's still unknown. But as far as some of the severe weather threat, we do have a level 2, I believe, for tomorrow for our western sections of Acadiana. Yep, got that one up here. Let's go ahead and change something real quick before I bring it up. I'm just going to go ahead and drop that and drop that. And this is what we're looking at for, this is actually going into tomorrow now for Friday, even though it does say Thursday, May the 30th, this was issued. And this will extend into early tomorrow morning as well. So that is the severe weather outlook from now going into tomorrow. So western sections of Louisiana could possibly be dealing with some severe weather, and that will be the case again tomorrow as we've looked at some of those other maps that are going to be going on by and moving eastward into tomorrow. So going to go ahead and get you the updated version here of the severe weather outlook for tomorrow. And let's go ahead and throw it back at a radar here for just a second. And we'll go ahead and throw that where the severe thunderstorm warning is right now. And that is a look at the heavier downpours right now. But as far as the graphic when it comes to the severe weather threat that we have for tomorrow, it does look like that most of the Acadiana region is going to be under a level 2 when it comes to that. So let's see if I can get that in here real quick and bring it up to you, and then we will get you a look at that here. So there is the updated. So this is actually for tomorrow, May the 31st, and you can see that a large part of Louisiana is in a level 2 risk. That would be the slight risk. And the heart of Acadiana and then southward toward the coast, we have a level 1, which would be that marginal risk of severe weather. So right now we still have a severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect for parts of Acadiana. Generally, it looks like we're looking at Vermilion, Iberia, western St. Mary, and southern portions of St. Martin Parish. And this severe thunderstorm warning will be in effect until midnight. Large hail is possible with this one, and also the possibility of some gusty winds up to 60 miles per hour, which can cause some damage. And this is starting to break up into different, it looks like it's starting to break up into different lines of thunderstorms. So right now we're looking at those developing and moving off toward the east. It's kind of an extension of the main line of thunderstorms, but a lot of what we are seeing now here across eastern parts of Iberia have now started to move out of the populated areas. When you're out here out in the panhandle of Iberia Parish, for the most part, you're looking at the marshy areas of the basin. But out here in the western part of St. Mary Parish, just east of Jeanerette, you've got some decent rains that are coming down there. So there are going to be some problems on Highway 90 going over to around Sharonton and Baldwin. Glencoe, you're getting in on the action as well. Franklin too. And eventually this is probably going to work its way over toward Morgan City. But if you live in Coteau-Holmes and Lauraville, you're probably starting to see things tapering off. Catahoula, though, on the other hand, you're probably still getting some decent rains, as well as areas around Butte-La Rose. So a lot of the big stuff is now starting to push a little farther to the east, and you'll start to see some improvement there over the southern parts of St. Martin Parish. Meanwhile, just east of Jeanerette, we've got some thunderstorms. There's a lot of lightning and thunder east of Lauraville and going over toward Jeanerette. Baldwin, you're just, and Sharonton both, you're both just getting in on the action, and it looks like Franklin is going to catch some of this rain as well here as we go through the next hour or so. Meanwhile, let's get back over to here to the radar, looking at the bigger picture as we zoom it back out. Let it refresh here real quick. You can see that was a pretty hefty line of thunderstorms that continues to move east, but it looks like the line itself is kind of breaking away. The strongest thunderstorms we had earlier tonight were up over toward Avoyelles and St. Landry Parish, but now it looks like the heaviest or the biggest threat of any severe weather is now over the basin areas of St. Martin Parish, the basin areas of Iberia, and then some of the populated areas here over western portions of St. Mary Parish. So that is a place that we're going to continue to watch here over the next couple of hours or so, basically stretching from Jeanerette along Highway 90 going toward Franklin and then up into Iberia Parish. But if you live around Sharonton and Baldwin, there's a possibility you've got some hail in this particular storm here, and it's going to continue to move off toward the east at about 35 to 40 miles per hour. Lighter rains are back off toward the west. We still have the thunder and lightning here in Lafayette, although we're still looking at mainly some light to moderate rain, and the heavier rains are now starting to push off toward the east. Looks like down toward Sipmore Point, you're going to be getting some good stuff there too, and also Avery Island getting some heavy downpours right now, although the thunder and lightning is a lot less prevalent than what we're seeing in the lines that are a little bit farther toward the east. But you could still see some pretty gusty winds down toward Avery Island and around Lydia and into the coastal sections getting down towards Sipmore Point. So if you're driving on some of the, if you have to go out there or drive on some of those rural roads that are way out there going down toward the point, not only is it kind of dangerous out there for severe weather, but if you're going to be driving on those dark roads at night, especially LA 83 and 319 that goes out there, that is going to hamper your travels quite a bit, especially as you get over the intracoastal waterway. But if you're sitting out there at Sipmore Point, you're probably seeing a really good lightning show off to your north and west, and that's what's on the way. But you can see that a lot of this stuff is starting to break up a little bit more. So I'm really hoping that this severe thunderstorm warning that we're looking at right now will be the last one for the evening, and we'll be able to shut things down. If you haven't gotten a chance to check out the channel, make sure you do. We do a morning show, a very quick weather briefing each and every morning. It's called Acadiana Weather Today. It usually drops between 7:30 and 8 o'clock during the morning. And then at noon, I do a live stream where we talk about the tropics. And well, guess what? It's called Let's Talk Tropics. And we just focus on tropical weather, even though hurricane season hasn't started yet. It starts on Saturday. Already we want to look at what's out there, and also we gave you some preparation tips as you get ready for hurricane season, whether it's right now or a week before a storm is coming or 3 days before a storm is coming. And that's on Let's Talk Tropics. So if you go back to the channel and you click the live tab, you'll be able to watch today's show. We started this on Tuesday, and this is going to be a daily show Monday through Friday. Again, Let's Talk Tropics. So it's a lot of fun. We talk about hurricane season and different things, and we'll be watching out for anything that might come along, which all the experts are saying that this could possibly be a very, very busy season. Let's hope all of these tropical systems stay far away from Acadiana. Getting back to the radar here real quick, you can see that we still have that severe thunderstorm warning that's in place. And that severe thunderstorm warning is going to remain in effect until midnight. So we've got about 20 more minutes or so, but I'm telling you, looking at the radar right here, the strongest part of this storm looks like it's going to start to move over the Atchafalaya Basin and more into an unpopulated area. And the part of the thunderstorm that's over southern Iberia Parish, now moving over to around Avery Island, still might have a chance of being fairly strong. But again, these storms are not looking quite as impressive as what they were looking like just a couple of hours ago. All of the other severe thunderstorm warnings have been dropped so far, and all of the severe thunderstorm watches that were in place for the Acadiana region have also been dropped as well. But we've got a new severe thunderstorm watch that is now up for portions of Mississippi, and areas just north of Baton Rouge are under a severe thunderstorm watch, and they'll be under a severe thunderstorm watch, looks like, until 2 a.m. So severe weather is going to be marching its way over into Mississippi and areas north of Baton Rouge. So that is the area there. Severe thunderstorm warnings continue north of Baton Rouge, and we still have a severe thunderstorm warning for just a few more minutes that's here along the Gulf Coast of Acadiana that covers parts of Iberia, St. Mary, and Vermilion parishes. So if you live in those areas, those communities that you see there on your screen, if you aren't already dealing with the heavy rains, you will be dealing with them soon. So Intracoastal City, New Iberia, Jeanerette, and Franklin are all in the path of this storm. Showers, thunderstorms are probably going to come back into play maybe as early as tomorrow morning. As far as the amounts of severe weather, we're not exactly sure what kind of a severe weather threat we're going to have, because we could see a couple of different rounds of thunderstorms that could come through. One could come through during the morning, and one could come through later in the afternoon. Models have been kind of out to lunch on a lot of this stuff, although this round of rain that came through this evening kind of showed up on some of the short range models, and a bigger line of thunderstorms that's already developing over North Texas also showed up on some of the models that we had here this morning. So the Storm Prediction Center does have a good part of Louisiana under a level 2 slight risk for Friday, and also the heart of Acadiana under a level 1 marginal risk. But level 1s and level 2s can still produce some gusty winds and also some hail. So keep that in mind for tomorrow. There might be a couple of rounds. I think there might be yet another round on Saturday, perhaps again on Sunday. I think Sunday might end up being more of the showers and thunderstorms that will pop up during the afternoon. And then as we go into next week, that ridge of high pressure aloft that kind of really heated us up last week with those temperatures well into the 90s and those heat advisories that went in place over the Memorial Day weekend. Well, that ridge looks like it's going to start to move its way back into the region. So it will bring back the hotter temperatures, but will also try to shut down the rain chance, or at least push these disturbances that are coming in from the northwest maybe farther to the north away from Acadiana, and we won't have to deal with the severe weather that we've been dealing with over the last couple of weeks. But of course, it is the end of May, and this is still severe weather season here along the Gulf Coast. Let's take another look here at the radar. As the thunderstorms continue to push off toward the east, I really think that this severe thunderstorm warning is going to go ahead and expire at midnight, and I have a feeling that we're probably going to be done with the severe weather for this evening. Showers and thunderstorms along the Highway 90 corridor there, stretching from Jeanerette down to Franklin right now, and these heavy downpours will continue to push off toward the east. And I believe these are all moving at about 35 or 40 miles per hour. This particular line of thunderstorm, according to the warning, is moving off to the southeast at about 25 miles per hour. 60 mile per hour winds and penny-sized hail is the main threat for this particular line of thunderstorms. And there again is a look at the severe thunderstorm warning that covers a chunk of Iberia, St. Martin, western St. Mary, and southeastern parts of Vermilion Parish. Winds up to 60 miles per hour, and penny-sized hail will be possible with these thunderstorms. So a few more minutes here. We'll kind of watch these for a little while and see what they do, hoping that we don't have any more severe thunderstorm warnings and everybody can go get some sleep tonight. But we'll watch that line as it continues to push to the east. Patterson and Morgan City, you still have not seen a whole lot of this action. You're about the only ones that are left. But that line of thunderstorms is back off toward the west, and it should be racing off to the east, and hopefully sometime after midnight we will see the thunderstorms dissipating and going ahead and moving out of the way. Let's take a little bit of a look again farther out of where we're looking at the other disturbances that we were just talking about. Some that were over North Texas, another one that's kind of coming out of the Panhandle. There's a lot of different scenarios with these according to the short range models. The round that's over Dallas could be close to Toledo Bend sometime around daybreak tomorrow. And then the round that's a little bit farther toward the west, maybe around Midland there, that could be something that we could be seeing during the afternoon tomorrow. And then the bigger thunderstorms that we're seeing there right along the Red River Valley, coming out of the Panhandle along the Red River Valley of Texas and Oklahoma, there are indications that low pressure is going to kind of spin up and kind of pull that over toward Arkansas. So maybe we'll get lucky and we won't have to deal with 3 different rounds of thunderstorms, but I still think the rain chances are going to be quite high tomorrow. They're there on the left side of your screen. Still going with a 60% chance for rain on Friday, with a high temperature climbing up to 87 degrees. I do want to thank all of the viewers who are checking in this evening. If you do have any damage or you've got any weather to report, you can throw that down in the chat. Make sure you tell me what the weather is and also tell me your location. That helps me out, and then I can pass that information over to the National Weather Service to let them know that there was damage in your area, or if you had a peak wind gust, or if you have a home weather station and you're able to do some measurements on rainfall. You can always report those things. Just make sure you always report the weather itself and the location to go along with it. Facebook did all the updates there. If you do tend to catch Acadiana weather today and you're grabbing it through maybe Facebook mobile, just a little advice. Try to use the YouTube app. You will get a much better experience, and you'll also be able to take place in some of the chats whenever we're on live. Another good thing when it comes to using the YouTube app is if you have a smart TV, it's kind of the way I like to use the severe weather loop that we have whenever we're not live and doing the play-by-play. You hear the music that's kind of in the background with an old school Weather Channel local forecast kind of vibe is what I call it. And then what I do is I'll just loop some radars in there and I'll just step back and then I can just monitor from afar. But what I kind of like to do is I just pop that up on my smart TV using the YouTube app, and then it's just right there. And then whenever any severe weather comes in, you'll hear my voice popping in when that goes, and you can just kind of leave that up if you want. So that is something that's nice and convenient. And the thing that I like about YouTube as well is I can reach all of you, and you don't have to have any kind of a subscription. You don't have to pay for anything. You don't have to have cable. You don't need to have an antenna either. It's right here, and it goes to your TVs, it goes to your computers, it goes to your phones. You can take it wherever you go. And what's great about this show is I can take it wherever I go too. So occasionally you might see me on location doing Acadiana weather today, or if I decide to take a trip somewhere, I'll be outside of the area but still be able to bring you a local forecast from wherever I go, thanks to the internet. So some fun stuff when it comes to Acadiana weather today, and thanks to the subscribers that have signed up over the last couple of months or so. The channel is really just about 5 weeks old and have picked up over 2,200 subscribers. And go ahead and tell your friends, have them subscribe as well, and let them know that it's free. Doesn't cost anything. All you have to do is be a subscriber. And a nice thing you can do too is turn on the alerts, and then once we go live, or when we have Acadiana weather today drop, or when we do Let's Talk Tropics at noon on weekdays, you'll get a notification, and then you can just tap that and it'll go right into YouTube on your phone wherever you are. So you won't even have to worry about going through Facebook and all that nonsense on that side over there. So I'm going to step back here for a little bit. We're coming to about midnight, thinking about ending the stream here as we get closer to the midnight hour. I'm going to see what happens with this particular severe thunderstorm warning that's still in place for the Acadiana region, for the southern parts of St. Mary, and then going into portions of Iberia Parish. That's the storm right there. It is under a severe thunderstorm warning for another 10 minutes. So we'll go ahead and leave this up here. I'm going to throw the loop together as well and put the music back on. Watch this storm. If we don't get another severe thunderstorm warning, we'll probably shut the live stream down here in the next 20 or 30 minutes or so. For now, you're watching Acadiana Weather Today, and I really appreciate you watching. This is the Severe Weather live stream, and I'm meteorologist Dave Baker. Hi, Acadiana. Meteorologist Dave Baker here. It is midnight. It is a new day. It's Friday, May the 31st, 2024. We've got a new severe thunderstorm warning. Was really hoping that last one was going to be the last one, but these storms are still hanging on, and there's a possibility we could see some small hail, as well as the possibility of some gusty winds coming in over western parts of St. Mary Parish. This severe thunderstorm warning is going to be in effect until 1 o'clock. Just a little while ago, a thunderstorm located near Franklin, moving southeast at 25 miles per hour. 60-mile-per-hour winds and penny-sized hail. It is a radar-indicated storm. Morgan City, Franklin, Patterson, Jeanerette, Berwick, Bayou Vista, Stevensville, Baldwin, Patterson, Amelia, Sharonton, Pierre Part, and Centerville and Glencoe are all in the path of this storm. Hail could be a 3/4 inch, and we could see some winds as high as 60 miles per hour. So the possibility of some hail, penny-sized, moving across that area. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we've got on the radar as soon as it loads in here. We can take a look at western parts of St. Mary Parish right there. And you can see that the heaviest amounts of rain are now coming in to around Baldwin and Franklin and Sharonton. And there's a possibility we could see some hail in this area as well. So if you live in those areas of western St. Mary, be prepared for that storm. You're already starting to get some of the big stuff in there. In Franklin, you're going to get in on the action. And this is eventually going to slide over into portions of lower St. Martin Parish. So Patterson, Morgan City, and Stevensville, you folks are all going to be in the path of this particular storm. This is all part of a much larger storm system that came through over the last several hours. We can see that line of thunderstorms broken all the way up to, or solid rather, all the way up into southwestern Mississippi, and that's where we have a new severe thunderstorm watch that's been posted, and that covers some of the Florida parishes there north of Baton Rouge. We're also seeing a severe thunderstorm watch that will be in effect until 2 o'clock. Now, all we have left in the game here is parts of St. Mary Parish that will be under a severe thunderstorm warning until 1 a.m. These thunderstorms will continue to push off toward the east, and this should be the last severe thunderstorm warning for the Acadiana area for the rest of the evening. Again, this is going to be in effect until 1 o'clock. So about another hour or so before things start to wind down. If you live in the central part of St. Mary Parish, feel free to send me a message in the chat and let me know if you've got any kind of a weather report. And please put your location on there as well, because that helps me to identify where some of the severe weather is, and I can always pass that along to the National Weather Service over in Lake Charles, and they can gather that with their storm reports. The more information that we all have from you, the more we can do to protect you in the future. So it is very important, if you do have a storm report, make sure you let us know, and also make sure you give us the location. Severe thunderstorm warning continues for St. Mary and lower parts of St. Martin Parish. Again, this is going to be until 1 o'clock in the morning. Very heavy rains are continuing to come down over the western parts of St. Mary Parish this morning. And some of the towns that are impacted right now are Sharonton, Baldwin, and Franklin. In fact, Baldwin, you might be getting some hail there, and there's a ton of lightning that's in and around that particular storm. Patterson and Morgan City, you're starting to see some activity popping up just ahead of it. We've seen this go on pretty much for the entire night. As the main line of thunderstorms pushes on toward the southeast, you get some new development of storms ahead of that, and that kind of pushes off into this off to the east. So we may see some new thunderstorms growing, and that could be more of a problem for areas off toward the east, over in Assumption Parish and Terrebonne Parish as well. So once it pushes off toward the east and crosses the Atchafalaya River, it's pretty much out of the Acadiana region. And then we start to shut down, close shop around here. But 1 o'clock is when this latest severe thunderstorm warning that just came down, this is when that one will expire. Keep in mind there could be some gusty winds and some hail to go along with it. Did want to take a real quick look at that wide range radar. And you can see that line of thunderstorms continues to move off toward the east, but we've got another line of thunderstorms that's over north central Texas, and that could be our next round our next round of weather coming through as we go into the early morning hours tomorrow. I think tomorrow morning, or I should say this morning, it is going to be moving eastward, but for the most part, we'll be watching that, and there's yet another one back behind that that could be affecting our weather as we get into Friday. Meanwhile, Friday is also showing the possibility that we could see some more severe weather. This is from the Storm Prediction Center, and much of the western and northern sections of Louisiana are under a level 2 slight risk, while the remainder of Acadiana is under a level 1 marginal risk. So there is a chance we could see some more severe weather into Friday. And I think we might still see some more scattered showers and thunderstorms coming up on Saturday as well. So keep the umbrellas handy for the next several days, as some of those thunderstorms are going to be returning. And then as we get into the early part of June, I think at least for the early part of next week, we're going to be seeing some of those pop-up showers and thunderstorms, kind of getting into that summer pattern. And then we'll probably see that ridge of high pressure that's been over Mexico that expanded over our area over the Memorial Day weekend, keeping us rain-free, but also shooting those temperatures well into the mid-90s. So I do think as that ridge starts to rebuild next week, we might be seeing some warmer temperatures. But fortunately, I think we'll start to see a little less coverage of the showers and thunderstorms. So again, we still have that severe weather threat that is currently over parts of St. Mary Parish. A severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 1 o'clock. Could see some large hail as well as some winds up to 60 miles per hour. Looking at the radar again, you can see these showers and thunderstorms continuing to move off toward the east. We'll put it into motion there where you can see the line of thunderstorms cruising eastward. So if you live in central or eastern parts of St. Mary Parish or lower parts of St. Martin Parish, you're going to be seeing these rains coming on in. Stevensville, Morgan City, Berwick, and Patterson. Those are some of the areas that we're going to be watching here over the next maybe 45 minutes or so as these thunderstorms cruise on through. So this is the last severe thunderstorm warning we have. Again, it will be up until 1 o'clock in the morning. Those showers and thunderstorms continuing to push off toward the east. So a few of you may have been woken up by the thunderstorms during the darkness hours. Good news is this should be the end of it, and we'll be in better shape for the rest of the evening. Hopefully we can get a little bit of sleep, and then we'll wait for the new thunderstorms to come in sometime during the day tomorrow. For now, I'm meteorologist Dave Baker. I'm going to step back. I'm going to put the loop on, update some social media, and if any other warnings come up, you will hear my voice once again. If not, I hope all of you have a wonderful evening, and we'll probably shut this live stream down sometime around 1 a.m. You are watching Acadiana Weather Today's severe weather coverage on our live stream, and I'm meteorologist Dave Baker.